AccessPay is a technology company serving finance departments, treasury departments within corporate organisations. And actually what we're here to do is raise the profile of the solution and some of the stories, some of the successes we've had with our corporate customers, and also just raise awareness in the corporate treasury community of how technology can accelerate the pace of change, pace of transformation, and some of the benefits it can bring in terms of automation and freeing treasurers up to focus on more value-add activities. So AccessPay have got a corporate integration platform. So we offer corporate treasurers the opportunity to integrate their back office systems with the variety of different financial services providers that they're using. So this is really our target audience, and that's why we're here is to showcase what we've got, some of the customer stories that we've got to talk about and connect with the corporate treasury community. Treasury Leaders Summit's been great. Very much enjoyed the fact that it's a bit different versus some of the other Treasury events we've attended. It's quite an intimate gathering, so you get to have much more in-depth conversations. The quality of the discussions has been fantastic. A smaller number of delegates means you really get to get in touch with everyone who's at the event and have some really good discussions. Treasury as a department within the organisation has evolved quite a lot over the last 10 years in terms of the role it plays, the focus that it's got as a strategic advisor to the C-suite in the organisation, and I don't think you can keep layering additional responsibilities onto corporate treasurers, onto treasury departments without automating some of the more manual and routine tasks that they're performing. Clearly the regulatory environment is ever evolving and demanding new and more things of treasury departments, and treasury departments need this level of automation to be able to be freed up to focus on these types of initiatives. I think the biggest challenge around automation to a treasurer is when you start talking about it. Historically, it's had connotations of ripping out systems, replacing it with new systems, massive expense, long lead times to derive value, and actually what we try to do at AccessPay is open the eyes of the Treasury Department to the fact that this can be done on an iterative basis. You can have solutions, technology automation solutions, which are really plug and play. You can get very short time to value. It's not massive in terms of a cost outlay anymore, because we're not talking about ripping out and replacing on-premise systems. These are all cloud solutions that we're offering. And I think this is really helping to drive the adoption of technology in Treasury departments. I certainly think that there are elements of the Treasury function which will be completely automated. Our view that is if you have a repeatable process and you can put a set of rules around that, then there's no reason that you can't automate it. Equally, with the advances that we're working on around cash flow forecasting, for example, using machine learning, then it's clear that we're getting to a much higher level of accuracy for cash flow forecasting using technology than a human in the sample organisations we're working with can get to. So these are examples of where the process, the individual processes will certainly end up being fully automated, but I think there is still a requirement for a Treasury department to keep up with the ever-evolving nature of the markets, the regulatory environment, technological advancements. So in terms of the next 5 years for treasurers, then we come from a technology background. We're a technology company, and so the key things that we think are really going to shape the roadmap for treasurers in the short term is the API economy. So regulation is driving choice and competition for treasurers, and that's fantastic. But on the flip side, if you lower the barriers to switching, if you lower the cost of switching, and actually you increase competition, treasurers have to have the ability to integrate those new solutions. And so the API economy is springing up to solve that problem, and we act as that integration platform to allow treasurers to access all of these different solutions. Thereafter, then we see a fantastic opportunity around machine learning and AI to really accelerate pace of change in things like forecasting for the Treasury Department.